Hello, my Performing Arts Studio West fellow songwriters, fellow producers, and friends. It is I, your songwriting partner, producer partner, and your friend, Joe Seeby. And thank you for watching this, and it's wonderful to share these with you. Today, our subject is writing a melody. What is a melody? A melody is a structure of notes that create an overall little story, right? When you're writing a melody, where do I begin? There's a lot of things you can ask yourself. Do I write chords first? Well, you can do that. Some people do that first. I know I came from a rock and roll background, and I know that as a guitar player originally first, I would always come up with chords. And then later on, I would start to, after I had a chord progression and different changes, I started to come up with lyrics and then a melody. Sometimes a melody first, and then I would find words that fit into my melody. There's no wrong way to do this. Everyone has a different approach. Yesterday we were talking about Max Martin and how he would write the melody first and then wrap the chords around it. So speaking of that, yesterday our exercise that we came up with, which was to write a chorus, which we wrote a chorus, but we didn't write a melody to it. So I started to take a look at some of the lyrics that we did write, and I'll recap those lyrics. It says, "I still think about you, even though we're worlds apart. I found a faded photograph, and it filled my jaded heart." And that was the example. So because I thought based on this particular example, because we wrote the lyrics first, this time, I found the lyrics to have a sentimental quality so I thought the melody should be, kind of sweet and heartfelt. So, I had no chords. I had no idea how we were going to start this. But a lot of the questions you ask yourself when you start to write a melody is, again, one, where do I begin? Number two, do I write the chords first? Number three, do I try to write the melody first? That's a Max Martin way to do it. Not everybody's way to do it. From the old school rock and roll days, that's not how I did it anyway. I don't know how Led Zeppelin did it, or how all these Aerosmith did it, or Steven Tyler, or whoever, how they did it. We all started in garages and just, trying to come up with something that sounded cool. That's how we started. And then once you actually start getting into the melody, does my melody have a question? What do I mean by that? Does it take you somewhere? Like every melody, like a movie, like a song, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything does, right? Your melody should be like a little story that takes you on some sort of a journey. Good songs always take you on some sort of they take you somewhere, to a place. So that's one of the questions you should ask yourself. Does my melody have a question? The next one is, does my melody have a resolve, or what we call an answer? Resolve and answer. Does it have a melodic twist? Is there some sort of a turnaround in it that, sometimes you take it somewhere and then you think it's going to go somewhere and then you go somewhere else. So the listener didn't expect that. That's kind of what I mean by that, a twist. And the next one is it fun to sing? Because remember, when you're writing a song, you're writing it for an audience, right? So they have to chime in and have a good time listening to it and maybe singing along. And that's, the best payoff as a songwriter is to hear people singing along to something that you created. And that's a really cool feeling. Or when you hear another artist do your song. I've been very lucky to work with people and they either really love the song that I wrote for them or that we wrote for them. We've had, at Performing Arts, we've had non-disabled artists who used our song for their records, for their albums. And, that means that that song spoke to them to the degree that they wanted to do it themselves. And that's a wonderful feeling when you hear someone else do your song. So anyway, based on what we wrote lyrically, and just in this case, we wrote the words first. That doesn't mean we can't write a cool melody first, But so I thought, because it's sentimental, almost in a country sense, I thought, it should be sad a little bit, maybe, sweet and heartfelt, but sad, because it is a little bit of a sad thing. You're not with this person anymore. But when you saw their photograph, it just warmed your heart a bit. So that was cool. So what I did was, what I would do in this case is, I actually just kept looking at the lyrics, and I would try to envision what I would hear a singer doing based on that. That's all I did. I went from my imagination, and what I heard was, I'll sing it to you. I still think about you, even though we're worlds apart. I found a faded photograph and it filled my jaded heart. And I still think about you, even though we're worlds apart. I found a faded photograph and it filled my jaded heart. Let me go back. It filled my jaded heart. It filled my jaded heart. It filled my jaded heart. Like that. So, how did I come up with that? I don't know. I mean, I was just, hearing that in my head, and then I started to try to find it. So I was going, and it came from the, right? Which is, I don't know what key I'm in right now. Whatever key this is right now. Right now I'm in the D major position, right? So, right? So what I try to do is take steel, instead of just going in a scale up and down, you take notes from that scale. So this is derived from, right? So what I did was I went, see that? So I went, so I started to find, when I found the melody, then I started to start wrapping chords around the melody. So I went, oh, that's cool. And then I went, that's what I came up with, right? Now, so once I got that, I started to put it together, right? And I still think about you, even though worlds apart. I found a faded photograph and it filled my jaded heart. And I still think about you, even though worlds apart. I found a faded photograph and it filled my jaded heart. Filled my jaded heart. Filled my jaded heart. So that's the melody based on the words that we wrote the other day. So here is like the whole thing, right? So I'll play it. I put a little drum and arrangement on it. So it's like, here we go. So it's, the words are, and I still think about you, even though worlds apart. I found a faded photograph and it filled my jaded heart. And I still think about you, even though worlds apart. I found a faded photograph and it filled my jaded heart. 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 And that's it. So that's what we did. Well, that's all the time we got for today, but thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this, drop me a comment in the comment section of the, the website, or shoot me a phone call or a text, and I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. I'm so glad we're doing this. And remember, we'll be together soon. This is merely a setback, but we will be back together and better than ever. I love you guys. Be safe. Stay in the house. Love you guys. Talk soon.